Hi there. In this video, we'll be covering what are some websites to get a book published. These resources have so many of the answers that you need. And no matter which website you use, you need to be guided by one specific thing. By the end of this video, you will learn 3 great resources that can help you on your way, and the thing that you need to demand from anyone you want to work with. And stay tuned until the end of the video for a free resource I really think you're going to enjoy. Let's dive in. The first website that I think about when considering wanting to get a book published is a website called Reedsy. It is a marketplace, book professionals. I happen to be listed as one of them. It has a 3% approval rate. It took me 5 years to actually get accepted to be a contractor on this platform. And it has so many different professionals in so many different areas. Ghostwriting, editing, design, promotion. It's so powerful to be able to look at this one place and see so much opportunity with so many high-level professionals, but it's there. And it's reedsy.com. And it's interesting because I've worked with book companies in the past that have dealt with different steps in the publishing process. And, you know, there's some great people who work for those companies, but it's usually low pay. It's usually fast turnaround time. You know, it doesn't seem like a great process, and authors ultimately get locked into these month-to-month payments, you know, and it feels like the gym membership that you don't use, you know, that you're not really getting the most out of every month of service. And now you get frustrated because where's the money going? You know, a lot of times with companies, when companies work with you to bring your book forward, they are paying people a specific rate for the work that they're doing for the book. And then some of that money is going to other things. It's not a nefarious thing, it's just the reality of it. It goes to advertising, it goes to YouTube, it goes to this, to that. What are you actually paying for as a client, as a customer of the company? If you're not paying for the specific thing that you want, ghostwriting, coaching, editing, design, whatever the case may be, that's a detriment. You know, I remember one of the companies I worked with early on in my ghostwriting career, and I was getting paid under $10,000 to ghostwrite a book, and the client was paying $50, $75, whatever the case may be. And I'm looking at that and thinking about that percentage. You know, if I'm getting 20% or so of the customer spending on the ghostwriting, then 70 to 75 to 80% of their payments are going to other things. That's a problem. That's a huge problem. The customer in that case thinks they're paying for the highest quality, but they're not getting the highest quality. They're getting lower quality at a higher rate. And that's a problem. You want to pay for high quality people and pay a rate that's commensurate to the outcome that you're getting. So ultimately, a website like Reedsy has a more transparent marketplace and an opportunity to connect directly with book professionals, which is, in my eyes, a great system. Another website that I recommend if you want to learn more about the book publishing process is goodbookmastery.com. This is a course I created that goes into every step of the writing process, and it really helps to bring your book forward with clarity and purpose. I spent a lot of time developing the course with workbooks and materials, and there's an opportunity even to have ongoing one-on-one calls or ongoing coaching support. And I think it's great to have that accountability. You know, a lot of times with online book courses, there's a high rate at the beginning. And then there's these promises of like, oh, you're going to finish the book in 12 weeks. What if you don't? You know, it's not easy for me to write a book in 12 weeks. How is a person taking a course going to write a book in 12 weeks? I think about the people who take courses and think about the effort that goes into it and the short amount of time. And a lot of times the drafts that come out of them aren't very good because the people rush just to get it done in time. You know, I think there needs to be more space to create. I don't try to rush the manuscripts I work on. I don't think it's fair for somebody who doesn't even have book experience to then have to turn around and write a manuscript draft in 12 weeks. That's a really fast amount of time. The way that my course is set up with coaching support, that coaching support continues for 6 months. Then there's opportunities to extend it further. But I just think there needs to be more openness and better structure to what a writer and author actually needs to be able to move forward with clarity and purpose in the publishing process. And that's why I created the course. Another site that is hugely beneficial to authors is Amazon. Amazon obviously is the world's biggest marketplace. It has its very real and very significant detractors. I have problems with Amazon from time to time, the way they treat people. But at the same time, it's a huge platform and it has a lot of tools for authors. So if you're interested in publishing your book, Amazon has a great list of resources. It has opportunities to advertise. There's so many things that you can do on Amazon that can help to promote, sell your book, connect to other books that are in the same space that readers might be interested in. So it's an opportunity. You know, obviously not the ideal, but I think there's a lot of upside for writers and authors. And it's good to keep an open mind about that, because if you're interested in getting your book seen by the widest audience, Amazon's a great place to do so. Whoever you end up working with, whatever website you find, whatever professionals you find, transparency is the key. There needs to be transparency in the people that you're working with, transparency in how companies operate, transparency from top to bottom. If you're spending quite a bit of money to work with book professionals, you should know who they are. You should know what their experience is, their qualifications. So any time that you think about working with a company or somebody, there should be some level of transparency, whether that's a conversation or give and take at the beginning of the process, to make sure that there's accountability structures in place, that you're being paired with high quality people. A lot of times when companies hide away their contractors, when they don't really put them front and center, especially before you sign up, it's because they don't really have the experience and the qualifications that the company says they do. They try to puff them up and make it seem like they're super qualified. But if they're super qualified, A, they may be working on their own, and B, the company would be proud to share them ahead of time. There should be some transparency in the process. So if you are interested in working with a company or somebody you find online, ask for a conversation ahead of time. Ask to meet with the person that you might work with, because then you can really see if there's a good fit, see if the connection's right between you, and see if you want to proceed. But the worst thing you could do is sign up, spend a lot of money, and then find out that the person that you're paired with isn't a good fit. If you want to learn more about what are some good websites to get a book published, you definitely want to check out the next episode. I'll link to it on the screen. It's called How to Write a Book and Get It Published. In that video, I talk all about the purpose behind writing, the purpose of bringing a book forward. I talk about book foundation work, outlining, all those sorts of things, and the path to publication, because it's a complicated process, and I wanted to make it easier for you. Remember, a good book can change your life. I'm Dan Good. Thanks for watching.